Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're delighted to have you with us for episode 17. Today, Sarah and I are talking about something incredibly practical: hiring a moving company.
And remember, this series isn't only for IELTS learners. It's for anyone who wants to improve their English, speak more naturally, and eventually master everyday communication. So, wherever you are on your English learning journey, you're more than welcome here.
As you listen, pay close attention to the vocabulary, expressions, and natural phrases we use throughout the conversation.
And when you've finished, drop a comment below telling us what you've learned today. Right, let's get into it.
Sarah, you look absolutely shattered. Please don't tell me you spent the entire weekend packing again.
I wish I could tell you otherwise, but yes, that's pretty much what happened. I honestly underestimated how much stuff I'd accumulated over the years. You know when you look around your flat and think, oh, I haven't got that much? Well, that was me a week ago. Now there are boxes everywhere. I can barely get from the kitchen to the sitting room without tripping over something. The worst part is that I've still got the bedroom and half the kitchen to sort out. At this point, I've accepted that moving house is far more exhausting than I remembered.
It always is. You don't realize how much you own until you have to put every single thing into a box. So, what's the plan for the actual move? Are you doing it yourself, or are you getting a removal company in?
I'm definitely hiring a removal company. Originally, I thought I could save a bit of money by hiring a van and asking a few friends to give me a hand. But the more I thought about it, the less sensible it seemed. I've got a fairly heavy sofa, a dining table, 2 wardrobes, a washing machine, and far too many boxes of books. I don't fancy trying to maneuver all of that down 3 flights of stairs. Besides, if one of us damages something, or worse, hurts ourselves, the money I saved wouldn't feel worth it.
I think that's a wise decision. Sometimes trying to do everything on the cheap ends up costing you more in the long run. Have you found a company yet?
Not yet. I've been looking around though. There are loads of companies online, and they all seem to claim they're the most reliable removal firm in the country. I've shortlisted 3, but I don't want to rush into anything. One company gave me a surprisingly low estimate, which was tempting. But then I read some reviews saying customers had been charged extra on moving day. Apparently, the original quote didn't include certain fees, so what looked like a bargain ended up being considerably more expensive.
That's exactly what you need to watch out for. A quote that looks too good to be true usually deserves a closer look. Did they give you a proper written quotation, or was it just a rough estimate over the phone?
Just an estimate. They asked how many bedrooms the flat had and roughly how much furniture I was taking. That was about it. Another company was much more thorough. They asked for photographs of the larger items, wanted to know what floor I lived on, whether there was a lift, how close their van could park to the building, and whether there were any particularly fragile or valuable belongings. It took longer, obviously, but I actually found that reassuring.
I would as well. It sounds as though they're trying to work out what the job genuinely involves, rather than just giving you a random figure to get your business. Did you mention the stairs?
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, there's no lift in my building, so everything has to go down the stairs. I warned them about the narrow landing as well, because getting the sofa into the flat was a nightmare when I first moved in. We had to turn it at this ridiculous angle and take one of the doors off its hinges. I still don't know how we managed it. I'd rather tell the movers everything beforehand than have them turn up on the day and discover that half the furniture won't fit through the doorway.
Definitely. The more information they have in advance, the smoother the move should be. What about your new place? Is access any easier there?
Much easier, thankfully. It's a house, so there are no communal staircases to deal with, and there's a driveway where the removal van can pull up. That should save quite a bit of time. The only issue is that the road is fairly narrow, and people tend to park on both sides. I'm thinking of speaking to the neighbours beforehand and politely asking whether they could leave a bit of space outside the house that morning. I don't want the removal team carrying wardrobes halfway down the street because the van can't get anywhere near the front door.
Good idea. Moving day is stressful enough without discovering that the lorry has had to park 2 streets away. Have the companies explained how they charge? Is it a flat rate or an hourly rate?
It varies. One charges by the hour, while the other 2 have offered a fixed price based on the information I provided. I'm leaning towards a fixed quote, because at least I'll know roughly what I'm paying. With an hourly rate, I'd probably spend the entire day looking at the clock and panicking every time somebody stopped for 5 minutes. On the other hand, I need to check exactly what the fixed price covers. I don't want to assume packing materials or dismantling furniture are included, and then get an unpleasant surprise when the final bill arrives.
Yes, get everything in writing. Ask what's included, what isn't included, and under what circumstances they can add extra charges. I'd also ask about insurance. If they accidentally drop your television or scratch a piece of furniture, you need to know where you stand.
That's actually one of the questions on my list. One company says they have goods in transit insurance, but I need to read the terms properly. I've learned not to see the word insured and automatically assume everything is covered. There might be limits on how much they'll pay for individual items, or certain belongings might need to be declared beforehand. I've got a couple of pieces that aren't enormously expensive but have sentimental value, and obviously, no insurance policy can really replace that.
Exactly. And with anything genuinely irreplaceable, documents, jewelry, family photographs, I'd take it with you rather than putting it on the removal van.
That's what I'm planning to do. I'm putting together a small bag with my passport, paperwork, laptop, chargers, medication, keys, and a few personal things. I'm also going to pack an essentials box for the first night. Kettle, mugs, tea bags, toiletries, towels, toilet roll, and probably some biscuits. The last thing I want after spending 10 hours moving is to open 15 different boxes just to find a toothbrush.
Never underestimate the importance of the kettle on moving day. You can survive a surprising amount of chaos as long as somebody can make a cup of tea.
That might be the most British thing you've ever said. But you're not wrong. Actually, one of the companies offers a full packing service as well. They'll come the day before, pack everything, label the boxes, and then unpack certain items at the new property. I have to admit, it sounds wonderful.
Wonderful, but expensive, I imagine.
Very. That's the problem. The full packing service would add several £100s to the bill, and I can't really justify it when I'm perfectly capable of packing most things myself. I might pay them to handle the fragile items though. I've got quite a few glasses, dishes, and a large mirror that I'm nervous about wrapping myself. If they have proper protective materials and know what they're doing, it might be money well spent.
That sounds like a decent compromise. You do the straightforward bits, clothes, books, bedding, and let them deal with anything awkward or breakable. Are they providing boxes?
One company includes a certain number of boxes in the quote. Another charges separately for them, although they'll buy the boxes back afterwards if they're still in decent condition. I've already got quite a few from a friend who moved recently, so I'm trying to reuse those. But I've realized there's a huge difference between a sturdy moving box and some flimsy cardboard box you've picked up from a supermarket. The last thing you want is the bottom falling out while someone's carrying your plates down the stairs.
Or your books. Books are deceptive. You fill a massive box because they fit neatly, and then discover it weighs about the same as a small car.
I've already made that mistake. I packed one enormous box with books, tried to lift it, and immediately thought, no chance. So I've repacked them into smaller boxes. I'm also trying to label everything properly this time. When I moved into my current flat, I wrote miscellaneous on about 6 boxes, which was completely useless. 3 weeks later, I was still opening random boxes trying to find things.
Miscellaneous is basically another way of saying, I have absolutely no idea what's in here.
Precisely. This time, I'm writing the room and the main contents on each box. Kitchen, pans and utensils. Bedroom, bedding, things like that. I'm also putting coloured stickers on them so the movers can see at a glance which room each box needs to go into. I'd much rather organise it now than end up with 30 boxes piled in the sitting room at the other end.
You're becoming a professional mover already. Have you checked whether the company will dismantle and reassemble your furniture?
Yes, because that's another thing I really don't want to do myself. The bed frame is straightforward enough, but the wardrobe is another story. One of the removal firms said they can take apart larger pieces and put them back together at the new house for an additional fee. I'm tempted to pay for it. I know I could probably manage it myself, but by the time moving day comes around, I think I'll have enough on my plate.
I agree. There's a point where saving 50 quid isn't worth adding another 2 hours of work and frustration, especially when you're already dealing with changing addresses, utility companies, broadband, keys, and everything else that comes with moving.
Exactly. That's what I hadn't appreciated. Moving isn't simply getting your belongings from A to B. There are so many loose ends to tie up. I've had to notify the council, update my address with the bank, arrange the electricity and gas, redirect my post, and sort out broadband at the new place. And naturally, the broadband company has given me an installation window of about half my natural life.
Of course they have. It wouldn't be moving house without spending several hours waiting for someone to install the internet.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm trying to get the removal company booked this week because I don't want to leave it until the last minute. My moving date is a Friday, which apparently is one of the busiest days. If I wait too long, the reputable firms might be fully booked, and I'll be stuck choosing whoever happens to be available.
That's sensible. I'd make your final decision based on more than price as well. Look at the reviews, see how long the company has been operating, check what insurance they have, and pay attention to how they communicate with you. If they're difficult to get hold of before you've paid them, they're unlikely to become magically more helpful once they've got your money.
That's a really good point. Actually, the company I'm leaning towards isn't the cheapest, but they've been brilliant at answering questions. Every email has been clear, they haven't pressured me into booking, and their quote breaks down the costs properly. That gives me much more confidence than a company that simply says, "We can do it for £400, without explaining anything.
Then I'd probably go with them. You're not just paying for people to carry boxes. You're paying for reliability, experience, and peace of mind. On moving day, you want them to turn up when they say they will, handle your belongings carefully, and get the job done without creating additional problems.
That's exactly how I see it now. A few years ago, I probably would have chosen the cheapest option automatically. These days, I'd rather pay a little more for a company that seems trustworthy. Moving house is stressful enough as it is. I don't want to spend the night before wondering whether the van is actually going to turn up.
Quite right. So, final checklist. Compare written quotes. Check what's included. Confirm insurance. Explain access at both properties. Label your boxes properly. Keep valuables with you and have the kettle ready.
You've forgotten the most important item.
Which is?
Biscuits. If I'm paying people to carry a wardrobe down 3 flights of stairs, the least I can do is offer them a decent biscuit with their tea.
Fair enough. What are we talking? Digestives?
Absolutely not. I'm asking these people to keep my television in one piece. I'm getting the chocolate ones.
Now that is careful planning.